Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, to take a look at your upcoming weekend and a sneak preview on into August. Yes, we're almost there, but until we get to August, it's going to be a bit on the wet side, especially again starting off this upcoming weekend. Now, temperature-wise, here on your Friday, it's going to be pretty warm. Very hot and humid across most of the country, as you can see here. You see a little bit of yellow right there, reflecting some normal temperatures. That's only, again, because of the cloud cover as well as rain. But as we look into next week, we could be seeing a shift also with the temperatures. That by Saturday, we're starting to see, again, some cooler air up into the Great Lakes region. Still pretty hot and muggy across most of the Midwest, Southeast, and even the High Plains. The heat is really still hanging tough there in the central U.S. By Sunday, well, we're starting to see, again, still a lot of heat and humidity around. We are looking at temperatures above normal, but nothing extreme here in the Midwest. We're looking at temperatures still pretty much in the 80s, maybe a few 90s may sneak in, but overall still not too bad, very hot and sticky across the eastern seaboard. Now, let's take a look at next week. Let's jump on into your Wednesday, the middle of next week. And remember I mentioned there could be a little bit of a cool down. Well, it's starting to show up here by next Wednesday. Still very hot down in this area, very dry, but you see a pretty good sense of yellow, and you can see across the northern portion of the country, temperatures are dropping down to about normal, which is still not bad, but it does show a little bit of a cool down. And then let's jump on into August 2nd. This is next Saturday, and you can see here again that things have changed quite a bit. Now, I think this blob of yellow is going to reflect possibly something a little tropical. I don't expect anything like a tropical storm or depression at this point, but we have to keep an eye on it. But I think this is mainly going to reflect a pretty wet period for those of you in Virginia and the Carolinas. But this up here does potentially show that there's going to be a little shot of some cooler air or more normal air moving into the country. Precipitation here on your Friday, it's going to be wet across much of the Midwest, dry up in the Great Lakes. And we talked about that little disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico the last time we talked. And it looks like it's just going to be a rainmaker, nothing really all that major. There's a very small chance of it developing into something. But right here on Friday, it looks like it's going to be kind of washing out, but it looks like it's going to be a rainmaker for portions of Texas and Louisiana, as well as Mississippi and Alabama. Here we go on into your Saturday. Could see a pretty good chunk of potential severe weather for those of you up in the Great Lakes. It's going to be wet again here in the Midwest, and there's that rainmaker down along the Gulf Coast. But everything pretty much west of the Mississippi, pretty dry at this point in time. Here on Sunday, we do dry out across most of the country, once again with the exception of the Northeast. Jumping on into your next Wednesday. Again, here it looks like this is where that front is going to be pushing its way through. Again, nothing major as far as any type of severe weather. This is showing a little bit of a something developing down into the Gulf. We'll keep an eye on it, but right now the models aren't really showing much of anything. But here comes that another shot of energy. I think it's going to push in some cooler air. And then by next Saturday, this is August 2nd, that system moves down. Remember that big glob of yellow that we showed up there on the temperature map there in the Carolinas, Virginias? And that's, again, indicative, I think, of a lot of rain there for you. Maybe something developing off the coast, but once again, the models aren't really showing anything at this point in time. But the bottom line is it's going to get wet and cool for next week. But until then, the weekend is going to be kind of muggy and, again, kind of wet. So there you go. Have a nice weekend. I'm George, the Weather Dad.